I'm Junior from Here For You Life Coaching. So yeah, I'm going to tell you the story about this. It all started with this one here, okay? And then there was a thought, and then all of a sudden, boom, okay? Like this is like a year's supply, right? Okay, but first, we're going to talk about manifestation, how it really works. It really works through your subconscious, okay? So this is not witchcraft. It's not, it's not voodoo. It's none of those things. Okay, a lot of people go, "Whoa, that's satanic. Manifesting is satanic." What? Okay, the process in which you manifest could be satanic if you practiced, like let's say certain rituals, but it all involves your subconscious. Okay? All right, so why am I holding this? Because I'm going to tell you the story of how this manifested. Because, I show other people close to me, I show them manifestations all the time. Okay? I show them like all the time. I'm not here to sell you anything. Okay? So I'm not going to try to sell you this or like anything else. Okay? But here's the thing. So what happened? What happened was Jay brought this back from Japan. Okay? Good morning, Jay. Jay, okay, our moderator on TikTok. Okay, so let me tell you the story first because Jay is also responsible for giving me my pen. Okay, this was from Japan as well. I don't know what brand this is. What brand is this? Yeah, it's in Japanese. Okay, as it should be, right? It's from Japan. Okay, so yeah. Let me hang on 1 second because this did not happen. Okay, there we go. We're adding Instagram on, so we want to press the button over there. So anyway, I'm going to tell you the story. Okay, I'm going to tell you the story today. So Jay went to Japan. Okay, so I didn't have to go. No, she went on to Japan for a vacation, right? And so in Japan, she got this pen. And the reason why I like this pen is because it's bigger. I used to use this pen over here, this one, okay? And I actually got this from my car dealership, okay? And I like it. It's pretty cool. It fits in my hand good. This fit better because it was bigger, okay? So Jay got this from Japan, and she, she came back. And so we have a custom in Hawaii. It's an Asian custom. It's actually a Japanese thing. And it's called omiyage, and that means when you go, traveling, right, you bring gifts back for your friends. And Jay was so gracious and kind and loving, and so she brought this for me. Okay, now this is lip balm, and this is the pen. So you guys always see me use the pen, and I go, "Where's my pen?" Right? So I use it as a prop now. But anyway, that's my pen, and I keep it here. So now let me show you just for context, so we know what we're talking about and why. Okay, so this is what I work in air conditioning, which is why you see me in jackets every morning. You guys see me in jackets all the time. It's because I work in air conditioning. So my lips get chapped, right, because of the air conditioning. I also work in this studio. This is my work studio. And I work during the day, like hours and hours and hours. And so, I'm always in air conditioning. So I had to get, lip balm, right? So I got this one. So this is the one I got, Nivea, right? Okay. And, nothing wrong with it. I was using it, whatever. And then Jay goes to Japan and she brings me back this one. Okay. So I'm going to tell you the whole story. So this is Nivea as well, but this is the one they make in Japan. I don't know if you guys can see this, but there's Japanese writing on it. Can I hold it up like that? Yeah, like this. You see? There's like Japanese writing. Now, the recipe or the ingredients, okay, I'm just being funny with recipe, but the ingredients are different from the ones that they give us in America, okay? So for some reason, when I use this one, I get kind of raw. My lips get raw. When I use this one, this is like butter, and they make this in Japan. Now, this is not a commercial, okay? I just want to explain how I manifested this, okay? So I'm telling you the story. So here we go. So follow me. So this, right? Like I put this on, like it's, whoa, it's amazing. And it protects my lips really, really good. Okay, and then the one from America, this one, I was like, wow, this is chemicals. It makes my lip swollen sometimes. If I use too much or whatever, it kind of stings a little bit. So it's different. So she brought me this one. So I go, okay, I don't need this. So I leave this over there on the side now, right? And I have this next to me because I use it. So here's the manifestation process. Now, A belief is a thought you keep thinking. As you keep thinking the thought, right, it goes into your subconscious. Your subconscious looks for avenues, okay, on how you can manifest. Okay, so manifestation is subconscious, no magic involved, no witchcraft or anything like that, okay? If somebody tells you it's demonic, just laugh at them because it's subconscious. We're all designed like that, everybody. You manifest whether you believe in it or not, whether you acknowledge it or not, whether you know it or not, okay? But when you're aware of it and you can do it deliberately, you know, like affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization, then everything comes to you. You become the center point. You believe in something or you desire something. You want something. All you have to do is keep thinking about it, okay? So here's what happened, right? She comes back from Japan, gives me the thing. Okay, I go, wow, I've never had anything like this. This is like, I've never tried anything like this. The Japanese are amazing people with what they, you know, produce, right? So anyway, so I'm enjoying it, and I told her, and you guys can ask her. She's on the live. She's the moderator. You can ask her. I told her, I go, wow, I wish I could, you know, have more of these because, you know, she only brought me a couple. I mean, you know, of course, and I'm not saying she should have brought me more or anything like that. But what I'm saying is it's going to run out, right? And I wish I had, okay? And so I kept thinking about it because, you know, we kept talking about it. You can ask Jay. She'll tell you on the comments. And so we kept mentioning it. And I kept telling her, thank you. I kept thanking her over and over. So this is part of it, gratitude, okay? And I did not know that this was going to happen. I did not know, okay? But I just kept telling her, thank you. Wow, this thing is so good. And I was using it and whatever. And it was helping me because of the air conditioning that I have to work in all the time, every day. So anyway, all right, so I have another client who was going to take a trip to Japan, and she happened to mention, oh, you know, I'm going to Japan. So what did I do? Just, you know, for conversation, right? I said, oh, you know, my other friend went to Japan, and she brought me this, and I told her what I found out because I thought it was really cool that the ingredients in this is different than what they feed us in America or what they give us in America. And I told her, I said, wow, and you know, the Japanese really make good stuff. And then, oh, I got this pen, and I showed her that, right? And she said, oh, well, send me a picture of the, you know, and I told her, well, you know, I can't get it here or whatever. And I said, you know, it's really cool though, but you know, one day I might go to Japan and I'll buy a case of it. And she goes, well, take a picture of it and give it to me. So I thought, okay, she's gonna go get me one of these, right? You know? And I thought, oh, okay. And I've done a lot for her. She's my client. I've taken her from like this, okay? She was very closed and very reserved, very shy. And then she started going like this and like that and like that, okay? So anyway, she's gonna go traveling to Japan. So, okay, she goes to Japan, right? She comes back from Japan. I haven't seen her, okay? Because when she came back from Japan, she had to get ready for another trip, and then she took off again. She left, okay? So there's this store that I go to where this person, this lady that did this, she was referred to me by this store. So a lot of people refer me, psychologists refer me, I'm very blessed, a lot of people refer me, refer people to me that are having problems or, you know, they're shy or they need confidence or something's wrong or PTSD or anxiety, whatever, right? So anyway, the store calls me and goes, oh, we have this package for you. And I'm like, package? Oh, yeah, it's from so-and-so. And I'm like, oh, her? Wow. So I'm like, okay. So I went to the store, right? And I picked this up. And I thought, at first I didn't know what it was, right? And then I was thinking, oh, it's probably this, right? And I'm like, okay. And I was thinking it would be like maybe one or two or whatever. This, okay, I'm gonna open it because this is like a year's supply, maybe. I don't know. Like, look at all of this. Okay, so I'm gonna unbox it because I'm gonna show you guys. And all I did was give gratitude to Jay over and over and over. She's our moderator. Over and over, like I kept thanking her for it, and she can tell you. She can comment on the thread, Jay. Tell them. And I'm not here to sell you anything, okay? So there's no back end to this. I'm just showing you what happened. And I'm showing you that when you become the center point, what you desire comes to you, okay? Because since 2007, I've made it that point. I made it a point. Like, I don't go to it. It comes to me. I didn't try to bring this to me. I didn't write an affirmation for it. All I did was think about it and give gratitude. And here, so, oh my gosh, yeah. Okay? So this is it. This will last me a year, I guarantee you. All right, so I'm just gonna put this down over here. Okay. But anyway, I wanted to share that with you. Okay? Because this happens over and over and over in my life. Okay? Abundance happens over and over and over. Now you might want to ask me, like, okay, uncle, how do you achieve abundance all the time? Because it happens all the time. Number one, I give. Okay? Number one, I always give. I give people extra time. I give people time. I give, people that can't afford it, I give them time. People write to me, I take my time. Okay? So if you don't have money, or if this is something that maybe you can do if you don't have money, or if you think like you don't have anything to give or whatever, okay? I just gave one of my guitars away. It was a $3,500 guitar, and I gave it to the guy who taught me, who made time for me. Okay? So when you give time, you give your life. Okay? And today's topic is going to be serving God and mammon, and how you cannot serve both God and mammon. Okay? So anyway, let me tell you the story. So I gave the guitar, $3,500 guitar. Okay, it was a Gibson, whatever. You guys are musicians, But anyway, so I gave the guitar to the guy who taught me how to play. Why? Because he gave of his life. He took a little bit of his life, and he spent time with me. But what was really important was that when I was a kid, the older guys didn't want to have anything to do with the younger kids. You know how that is, right? Get out of here, beat it. That kind of thing. So, but this guy had a heart, and he said, here, let me show you. And he showed me some chords. Okay, and I took those chords, okay, and every chance I got that I saw him, I said, oh, show me something. And he would show me a little bit, and he would take his time, okay? So it was a blessing for me to return that, okay? It was a blessing. Now, people don't always get that opportunity. There's so many people that gave me so much in my life, gave me time, gave me, opportunities, stuff like that, and I don't always get to repay them because, things happen, people move on, people, change locations, they move out of town, or whatever it is. Okay? Now, I always tell you that when you give, and when you give of your heart with no strings attached or no expectation, expectation meaning you gonna give to this guy, and then this guy gonna give to you. Like when he gets something, you're gonna expect it from him. You can't do that. That doesn't work, okay? But anyway, so that kind of thing, right? So when you give without expectation, without any strings attached kind of thing, conditions, okay? Unconditional. What you're doing is you're giving unconditional love, okay? And when you give unconditional love, okay, I have this one girl, okay? I give a lot of time to her, a lot of my life, because I want to see her get ahead, because I want to lift her up. And guess what? She got a promotion. And guess what? I talked her into getting into the master's program, and now she's getting her master's. And then I will lift her up as far as I can in her industry, okay? Because I will go to the people and talk for her. And say, hey, this one over here, she's smart. Hire her. She has a master's, whatever. But I'm making it funny. But what I'm telling you is when you give from your heart without expectation, what happens is God gives you, because God is real. Okay, now let me go over the process before I get into the God and mammon thing, okay? It's getting there always. Hang in there. Okay, so, and you're an honorary Hawaiian when you're on my live. So, okay, I'm in Hawaii for those of you who are on other platforms that don't know. Okay, so here's the thing, right? When we talk about, giving, right? First of all, the universal law of divine oneness says that we are all one, and we all have divinity within us. Okay? So Jesus Christ said the same thing. He said, right? The kingdom is within. Okay? You can look high, look low, what? Okay? The kingdom is within. All right? So God lives in here. Okay? God is a part of you if you choose to bond with that. Okay? Because you can go both ways. Okay? God is in here. Satan is in here. Okay? The word Satan, by the way, it's not the pitchfork guy with the the pointy tail and all that. That's folklore. Okay, Satan just means the opposing energy, the other side. Okay, the yin and yang. Okay, the good, evil, dark, light, all of that. Okay, that's what that means. Okay, but that's in you too, because why? Because you're capable of doing evil. Okay, and when you're operating in evil, you are just operating in the absence of love. Okay, because your original energy that you were born when you were a little baby, little babies, I've never seen an evil little baby. Have you seen an evil little baby? I never saw one. They're always cute, smiling, happy, right? And then life happens. Okay, then life happens. Okay, but anyway, you're born into love. That's your default energy. Okay, so when you stop being angry with the things that happen to you, when you stop, holding things against people, when you stop, let's say being agitated, okay, all the negative emotions, okay, anxiety, stress, guilt, shame, fear, all of that, everything's rooted in fear. But when you get rid of that, what do you have left? You have love. Okay, you have a good heart. Okay, there's a lot of good hearts out there with a bunch of junk piled onto it. Okay, and my job and what I do is I lift the junk off the heart. Okay, so we have a slogan on our emails. If you've ever gotten an email from me, you've seen it. It says opening eyes, hearts, and minds since 2010. That's our company, Here For You Life Coaching. Okay, and it's what it is, here for you. Okay, so anyway, now let me get into God and Mammon. Oh, well, let me just tie in this thing. So tie in this thought. So because we're all connected, okay, because we're all connected, because God is real, and because there is only the conscious, subconscious, and superconscious, and the superconscious would be God or divinity or source or universe, okay, because we're all tied in, when you give over here, it comes over here. Okay, what you give comes back. Saint Catherine of Siena said, you will be rewarded, and I'm paraphrasing, you will be rewarded in accordance with your giving. Okay, so what you give, you will get. Now, if you give bad stuff, you'll get bad stuff, or you will encounter bad situations. Okay, people call that karma. But you experience this through your subconscious. Why? Because your subconscious learns to be negative. Okay, once it learns to be negative, guess what? It looks for confirmation of negativity. What does that do? It attracts more negativity. Why? Because the subconscious is selecting negativity for you to engage in. Okay, like attracts like. Okay, but the first universal law, right? So it says that we are all one. And that's why this works. Okay, and God is real. Because God will give if you give. Okay, God does not punish. You make that decision. You also make the decision to give. So if you make the decision to give, then you get. If you start withholding, if you start being the crab like this, okay? Yes, you can store up riches. Yes, you can store up things. Yes, you could, for a while, right? But guess what happens? After a while, something happens. An event happens, and you see these guys lose their stuff. I can't tell you how many times, in the industries that I've worked in, I see these guys, right, for a while. Wow, they're making money, like tons of money, doing big promotions, doing all kinds of stuff, right? All of a sudden, you see them a few years later and they have nothing. And you go, whoa, what happened? Okay? So sometimes, right, and this is why I don't recommend to anybody, and I talk to my clients about this all the time, okay? I don't recommend fast money. Fast money does not work. Why? Because it's not in your subconscious. If you don't install a new belief in your subconscious of abundance, wealth, all of that, okay? And this is how I got the lip balm. This is how the lip balm happened. It happened through abundance. Why? Because my subconscious is conditioned for it. Let me show you conditioning, okay? So my subconscious, here, this is subconscious training, okay? This is what I give my clients to do. Okay, these are affirmations. This is not journaling, okay? So affirmations is subconscious conditioning, and every one of those affirmations starts out with, I am so happy and grateful now in the present, now that, and then, after that, I write what I want. Okay, sometimes I write for clients. I wrote for clients the other day, last week, the beginning of last week, I wrote for 4 clients. So far I have 2. I'm waiting for the other 2 to show up. Okay, so every so often I write, I am so happy and grateful now that I have 4 clients. I don't know why I always choose 4, but that's the number I always use. So I go in groups of 4. Okay, and it needs to be relevant to your your subconscious comprehension, or what it can understand, okay, or what it can retain. Because if you go like, I want 1,000 clients, okay, you can't serve 1,000 clients. I couldn't, okay. I mean, I'd have to expand in such a way that it would take a lot of time. So, and it's not realistic, it's not practical. So when you're manifesting money, or let's say when you're doing subconscious work to attract money, okay, because that's the way it really works, when you do it, you have to start small and build, small and grow, just like anything in life, okay? Small and grow. Now, we're going to talk about serving God and money, God and mammon. Okay, now those, I have a lot of Christians on a couple of my platforms, and on a couple of my platforms, I have really spiritual people, okay? Universe people, source people. Okay, let me just say that. And then I have Jesus Christ people, and I have God people on two of my platforms, like a lot of them. Okay, so I'm going to address both sides, okay? Because whether you believe in God or you don't believe in God, either way, you're a believer. Okay? All right, follow me, follow me. All right, so let's tune in here, okay? Now, you're a human being, okay? So the conscious, subconscious, and superconscious are three states of awareness that live in you. God is in here. Jesus Christ said it, Gautama Buddha said it, Krishna said it, okay? Lao Tzu said it. They said it different in different ways, okay? The universal law, the 12 universal laws, the first law, okay, the law of divine oneness that says we are all one. What does that mean? That means awareness, okay? So even, I use this example, even the cats at the park eat. What am I talking about? Okay, so I go to this park to walk once in a while. I do walk runs. I run a little bit, walk a little bit. And I go to this park, and these two old ladies, they're retired, okay? But this is their dharma. This is their purpose. This is their thing, okay? They show up at the park at 4:30 in the morning every day, with canned food. Okay, these ladies spend their money and they buy canned food to feed stray cats. Okay, it's amazing. Okay, God feeds the cats at the park. Even the cats eat. Now, do the cats have to do anything to eat? No, they just have to be. Okay, the lady, okay, is feeding the cats, the ladies, okay? So somehow they got the idea or the inspiration, okay, which happens in the right hemisphere of the brain, where God lives. Jesus sits at the right hand of the Father, not the left, okay? You cast your net to the right side, Christians, okay, Christians, right? So somehow she got that intuitive thought one day, or she wouldn't be there, right? First, you get a thought. A belief is a thought you keep thinking. When you keep thinking the thought, it goes into your subconscious as a belief. Okay, let's get the pen. Okay, how do you install a belief? Well, you could use one of these. I am so happy and grateful now that I am confident, thank you. Okay, that's an affirmation. Okay, so we're going to take a little time here to explain. You write it first thing in the morning before you start, your coffee, your day, thinking about more things, because your brain is in theta state. Okay, that's the ideal time, so write it out. Now, you want to speak it because you can speak things into existence through your subconscious, whether you know that or not, or aware or not, or think so or not. And then you speak it at night before you go to bed. Okay, every night before I go to bed, I talk to God on my way to sleep. I ask God for a good day tomorrow. And then I go and do, whatever. And I just do that for a little while, 2 to 3 minutes, and then I go to bed. Now, the last thing that your subconscious hears is the first thing it remembers. So it works on this all night long in your sleep. Okay? So you can ask God for things. You can ask Source for things. You can ask the universe for things. Okay? But you need to speak it out loud. Okay? Because it has more power than if you just think it. because your subconscious responds to your voice first, your image first. Okay, so if you really want to, do something good, speak in the mirror as you're looking at your image, because it will go the way we work. It's the way this works. Okay, this has nothing to do with religion. This has no, I mean, these things are in religion. It's a part of religion because it's this one. Okay, but that's how we work as human beings. We were given these things from the divine, whoever, however, whatever you believe that to be. Okay, so that's how that's done. But now, serving God and serving mammon, what is that about? Well, Christians always say this. It's in the Bible. In other words, you cannot serve God and serve material things. Mammon is material things. Okay? Is it wrong to have material things? No. There's a difference between enjoying abundance, okay, and attracting things into your life, okay, through positive thinking, through your subconscious, okay, like I did with the lip balm. That was totally unexpected. I didn't know that was going to happen. I didn't know I was going to receive that much. But now I have an abundant supply. Having good things, working and buying good things, and serving money. Big difference. Okay? You ever see the people that worship money? You ever hand them a credit card? You see them hold a credit card like this? Like this, okay? Like a sacred object. It's a piece of God. Why would they hold it in two hands? Why not just take it like this, process it, here you go? No, they take it like this, right? When they're done, they hand it to you like this. Like it's a ceremony. Okay? Now, if you think that much of money, let me enlighten you on the way it works in America. That piece of paper that it's printed on, maybe a dollar bill, maybe a 20, maybe 100. It's worth the amount that it costs to print it, plus the paper. Okay, printing costs, paper. The rest is perception. Why? We have nothing backing it. They print. Okay, value is perception. But what do we have? What do we have to back it up? We have labor. Future generations of labor. Everything that you buy in the store is already paid for by future generations of labor. What does that mean? Well, the government that prints the money, and this is not anti-government or anything, I'm just telling you, you need to look at things a different way. They print money, right? And we have a deficit, right? The babies that are not even here, already. They're already in debt, but they're not even here. They're not even thought of. But because we have a population, they know they're coming. Right? And now what are we hearing, right? You always hear people, well, we don't. I know, economists have their ways of explaining this, okay? But if you look at it, that's what it is. So now, back to serving mammon. Are you going to serve a piece of paper? Are you going to serve a piece of plastic? Are you going to serve something that has a value that can be adjusted? That if a market crashes, will be worth nothing. Are you going to serve that? Are you going to put your faith in that? Are you going to worship that? All right? Because this is the reality. When you put your faith in something, that means you believe. I don't believe in it. It has no heartbeat. It has no feelings. It has value. Okay? Here's the good part. The pen is mightier than the sword. Why? Because it affects your subconscious and you can change your life with one of these. Okay? But would you worship this? I don't think so. So why would you worship money? Okay? Think about that. You cannot serve God and mammon. mammon being the material world, okay? And I'll tell you why. Because there's a separation between the spiritual and the physical, okay? Money is physical. It's an energy, it's an instrument, but it also has a spirit. You're not your body, you're not your name. You're that spirit that lives in here. And it is separate from your body. What does that mean? Well, your spirit is independent. Your body is the anchor into the physical world. So, if you're spiritual, maybe you have a different idea. I'm not here to tell you what to believe. Okay? You believe what you believe. But what I'm here to tell you, and what I'm here to share, is that, okay, in other words, you know the guy that buys the truck, brand new truck, or brand new car? Okay? I've been there. Okay? I did that with my first brand new car. I did that. You know, because it was my first brand new car. Okay? It was new. It was a new thing for me. Never had a brand new car before. This was way back. There are human beings right now falling in love with anime characters. How does that happen? It happens in their subconscious. Okay? It happens with the right brain, imagination. Human beings are equipped to do all of this. It's a good jacket, right? I bought it because, you know, hopefully it'll last a long time. I'm not in love with it. If somebody steals this jacket, okay, all right, I have to face it. I have to take the hit, take the loss, whatever, however you want to call it, whatever you want to call it. It's just glasses. Yesterday I told a story about when this girl hit me, and it was just a car. It was a brand new car, but it was just a car. I had insurance, problem solved, nobody got killed, everything was good. Okay, I know a lot of people that say that they believe in God. Okay, a lot of people say they have faith. A lot of people say, oh, source, right? I know a lot of spiritual people in the spiritual community. And then, you know, some of the spiritual people, they are very spiritual. They're, you know, a good life. They're not attracting maybe enough this or enough that or whatever, because there's a lack there. I know some religious people like that. Okay, they go to church, they're faithful to the church, okay, to the body of the church. But they put God up there in heaven. I had this lady tell me that. You know, she said, oh, Jesus is coming back. He's going to come riding on a horse through the clouds, and he's going to save us. Okay, that's her belief. You know, I've been reading my Bible forever. It tells me that God isn't here. The kingdom is within. I'm writing a book on it right now. But there's the physical world and the spiritual world. And the physical world contains labels. Okay? Label, church. So we tend to think in labels. Okay, we have been conditioned or taught to think about money in a certain way. So a lot of people have money hang-ups. Okay? When they start running low on money, they start panicking. They start being concerned. They start, you know, they get on edge. When you start getting low on money, you need to feel happy. You need to be excited. You're pushing like this. You're pushing like that. Okay? There's a little barrier up here. Your blessings are trying to come to you. Okay? But you have this fear, this doubt like this. Okay? And all you need to do is relax it like that, and then the blessings come. Okay, so serving God and mammon, serving God and money, serving this in here, okay? You, the essence of you, okay? Serving your spirit, I want to call it energy. Okay, so what are the societal behaviors that we see? Well, equating wealth and moral superiority, moral superiority. Okay, when we feel that something is superior because, well, he has a lot of money, he's superior, he's better than me, he has a lot of money. Is that true? No, not at all. A person's net worth is not their personal worth. Just because somebody has money in the bank doesn't make them a good person or respectable person, right? Okay. So, what are the other labels that we experience with this? Oh, money is power. Money is power. It's just like saying knowledge is power. Knowledge is not power. The application of knowledge is power. The application of money is power. What are you going to apply it to? Something good? You're going to go feed people? Feed poor people? Donate to whatever. Buy people lunch, buy people food, buy people, right? Or you're going to use it for bad things. So it's just like this one. You can, right? You can use it for good or bad. In the cartoons, they have the angel over here, the devil over here, and it boils down to a decision. God doesn't punish you. God is love. Source is love. The universe is love. No judgment. People judge. We judge. Why? Where does judgment come from? The right hemisphere or the left hemisphere? It comes from the left hemisphere. It comes from the ego. So what do we need to do? We need to keep the ego in check. We have an ego for a reason, and it has a purpose, but we need to keep it in its place. Okay? And this is why this one exists. This is why this exists. Okay? Now, I'm not here to tell you what to believe, okay? But I'm here to tell you that there's a schematic in here. There's a manual, okay? The same goes with the Bhagavad Gita. The same goes with the Quran. The same goes with the Talmud and the Torah. All of these books point to in here. All of those books tell you that the kingdom is in here. They have different ways of going about it. They have different beliefs about it. They have different dogma and theology about it. But it all points to the same thing. So, if you take an inanimate object, if it's money, if it's a brand new car, if it's a brand new house, if it's a brand new, I don't know, jacket, pair of shoes, kicks, and you polish that thing and you keep it, and then when something happens or a spot gets on it, it affects you emotionally, it tugs at you, right? Guess what? You're worshiping that. You're holding it in high regard. Okay? Think about it. Use things. Love people. Okay? Don't get it twisted. Don't twist it around like that. Because when you start loving things and you start using people, okay, why do people use people? Oh, to get more things? That happens a lot, more than you think, right? People use people to get money. People use people to get favors. People use people to get, advanced in life, or to get to the next level, or for political purposes, okay? But when you start putting your faith in an inanimate object, when you start loving an inanimate object, and we see that a lot now because things are digital. So we see you know, things, games, right? You get addicted, games. Pretty soon you start playing the game. Pretty soon, wow, I love this game. And you actually do love the game. You actually get emotionally invested in the game, invested in the bike, invested in the car, financially, okay? But emotionally, and this is what you need to adjust. Because inanimate objects don't have heartbeats. They don't have feelings. They don't have compassion. They cannot love you back. I sit here for an hour in the morning. I don't sit here to sell anybody anything. I have nothing to sell you. I don't have a course. I don't have a program. You know, I have services, but I'm not here to advertise that. I don't push my products and website and whatever. I have a book. Yeah, I have a book. I have, I don't know, 9 albums that I recorded when I was doing entertainment. But that's not the point. The point is we need to embrace a new way of thinking. Because inanimate objects, okay, attention to humanity. When we should be paying attention to people. Okay, if you're paying attention to the stock market and you're obsessed with it and you know, right? You're emotionally engaged with it. You're engaged with it. Now you worship it. Why? Because you hold it in high regard. Either you're going to choose material objects or you're going to choose God. So for this sake of this discussion, we'll call it the right hemisphere of the brain, this side, right? Superconscious. Okay. And that can be source, that could be universe, that can be God, that could be Allah, that could be Jesus Christ, but they all fit in this category here. And it's all within. If you have been taught or conditioned to place your faith somewhere else, or up there, out there, just know that there is no out there, out there. Okay, everything is in here. The simulation of sorts is, okay, filters out what you're not focused on. So now what you are focused on becomes a thing. Are you focused on a cartoon, like an anime, whatever? Okay. Do you like it? In it. That's the question. When that happens, it's the beginning of the elevation of that. And when you lift that up, okay? What happens when you lift people up? You inspire them, right? You inspire people, you lift them up. You motivate them, right? You lift them up. You respect them, you lift them up. You hold them. When you fall in love with an inanimate object, something that cannot love you back, something that is just a thing, it's not a person, it's not God, because God lives in here, okay? Then you end up worshiping that, the material thing, the money, you know, the house, the car, the scooter, iPhone 17, the latest laptop. Oh, I love this laptop. Okay, but it's only a laptop. It's only a phone. Now, these things lead to things like workaholism. You know, I work a lot. For a long time, I was a workaholic. Right? Obsessed with something, or let's say emotionally involved with an inanimate object like a car. You know, it could be anything you own. When that happens, your soul goes from the house to the car, and then pretty soon you need something else, right? Because why? Because it gets old. You know, I lease a new car every 3 years, right? And every 3 years, it's like, whoa, it's a brand new car, right? Brand new experience. Drive it around, right? When you have to work to feed these desires of inanimate objects, right? What happens? Well, bad things begin to happen. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Maxine. Thank you so much. Bad things begin to happen. Your health goes down. Why? Well, I'm working because I have to support them. Gotta put in some overtime, find a side hustle, do all this stuff, right? Because why? Well, because I'm in love with that motorbike. Or whatever. I'm in love with motorbikes, period. And then so I bought that expensive one. Now I have to work to, right? Like that. So every action has a reaction. It's not necessarily negative. It's not necessarily wrong or bad, okay? But you have a choice. You can love God, this one in here, okay? Love this, okay? Or love something like this. Like, why would I love this? This can't love me back. It can't do anything for me. If you love you put your faith in God, because God lives in here. Source lives in here. Universe, okay? Insert belief system here. It lives in here. And now what does that do? Well, let's do a little comparison, right? The person that, money, everything money, right? If you don't have money, he won't talk to you, or she won't talk to you, or whatever, okay? And this is what they do. They put it in the music, right? They put it in pop culture. They pound it in and condition you to believe these things. So you have to go do this for money, do that for money, work for the corporation for money, overextend yourself for money, do things that may be ugly for money that you don't really want to do, but hey, it's money, right? Okay? Money, okay? Or you can, when you help yourself, you help others, okay? When you help others, it's an expression of how much you love yourself. Why? Because you're kind. You're kind, you're generous, okay? You understand, you're empathetic. This and whatever, and being there for people, that kind of thing, right? That's serving God. When you are serving people, you are serving God. You are serving the divine that we all have within us. The term namaste means the divinity in me salutes the divinity in you. And there is divinity in you. In everyone. So if you condition your subconscious, here, pen, if you condition your subconscious, okay, that's like the affirmations I showed you earlier, okay, if you condition your subconscious, guess what? It starts working better. It starts to be conditioned into positivity. Inanimate objects, like, when I lease a car, okay, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's fun for a few days, for a week, for 2 weeks maybe. It's fun, right? And I'm like, wow, that's a nice car, yeah, it's brand new. But after 2 weeks, it's just a car. So some people, okay, and I've seen this happen to a lot of rich people. I know a lot of wealthy people, rich people and wealthy people. And some of them just keep doing the next material thing, trying to fill the hole. Why? Because they're not looking in here in the kingdom. They're looking out there. Oh, Bob has a new grill. I'm going to get a new grill. And then the new grill is good, right? Right? Exciting, right? Right. Has parties, right? Yeah, sure. And then after, maybe I'll get a boat. Bob has a boat too. Maybe I'll get a boat. Maybe I'll get a whatever, okay? All these things, they're just things. They're not people. They're not you, okay? Maxine, every car has 4 wheels, same with watches. They all tell the same time. Yeah, they do. Some are better than others. And there's different levels to everything, And it's normally, you're like St. Catherine of Siena said, I mentioned it earlier. Okay, you are rewarded for the amount of your giving. So the question is, what are you giving? How much are you giving? Okay, excuse me 1 second. I need to do this because it wants to confirm that we're a live person. Okay, there we go. There we go. Good morning, Billy. Thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoy it. Thank you. That's a high compliment. Thank you very much. You're very kind, Billy. Thank you. So when you give to others, when you love others, okay, from here, from the kingdom inside, okay, when you give to others, you're always rewarded. When you love others, when you think well of others, you're always rewarded. How does that happen? Through your subconscious. Okay, let me give you a fast example. Okay, you're walking down the street. The subconscious learns to be loving, it learns to be cynical, it learns to be discriminating, right? Fussy, whatever, all of that. Bad energy, okay? And it learns to be good, it learns to be kind, it learns to be loving, it learns to be generous. It goes into the subconscious, and the superconscious supports the subconscious. Okay, whatever your belief is, God will back that up, will work with that. But you have to have the belief. So everything in your life is a result of what you believe, your core beliefs inside. But when you think, even if you think, okay, let's say you think, you don't have to say anything. You don't say anything, right? You don't want to get, maybe you don't want to get hit. But you see somebody, you go, I don't like the way he looks. He looks whatever. If you're feeling that way inside, guess what your subconscious does? It learns that feeling. What does it do? It repeats that feeling. Then what? You get stuck in a loop. And then you always think like that. Do good things come to you when you do that? No. You know the thing I just showed you with the lip balm. With the lip balm. The reason I got blessed with the lip balm, and I thought she would just bring 1 or 2 from Japan or whatever. I did not ask. I didn't ask. She said, send me a picture. But my subconscious is always in abundance. Always. Now this works for everything, okay? Okay, I have an abundance of clients. I have an abundance of bills. I have an abundance of, so when you get more income, right? You live better, more bills. So it all works out. But what happens is you don't do that. Some of them clothes or the bare, they just do the bare minimum, and that's mammon. Money. Oh yeah, I can't get enough money. Money. Okay? Or what's the alternative? Well, the same way I got this. What do I do? Well, I sit here for an hour every morning helping you guys. My subconscious is conditioned for abundance. It doesn't matter where it comes from. This came from my client. Sometimes it comes from my family. Sometimes it comes from people I don't know. Sometimes it comes from strangers. I'm in Starbucks and people buy me coffee. You don't know where it's going to come from. But we're all connected through awareness, and God is very real. And when you put your faith in God, okay, because like I said, God and mammon, you choose which one, okay? Mammon belongs to the physical world, okay? There's a different God of the physical world, okay? The one that is involved with the system, okay? Because you could be in the world, not of the world, okay? You don't have to belong to this guy or these people or this system or these organizations or however you want to put it, okay? This, physical. Spiritual, in here. You're not your body, you're not your name, you're that energy that lives in here, that spirit, energy, spirit, soul, whatever you want to call it, okay? When you do that, when you believe in that, when you worship God, whatever your belief system is, that energy, source, universe, God, and you put your faith in that, and your subconscious goes, oh, okay, right? I'm going to be more loving. I'm going to be more empathetic. I'm going to be more understanding. I'm going to be more whatever. Do you go back and forth? Sure, of course. We're human beings, But when you do that and you start to believe in this, it comes to you because you're subconscious, not because of magic, not because of black magic or voodoo or witchcraft or demons or anything like that. Not at all. It starts with authenticity, and authenticity is the highest vibration. How do you be authentic? Get rid of all the negative stuff. Get rid of all the bad stuff, the anxiety, all that stuff. Get rid of it. Don't engage with it. Protect yourself from it. And then what? Then serve this, the superconscious, because that's what brings things to you. That's what makes you get lucky, okay? Because you can look at it as luck, or you can look at it as this is what I fed my subconscious, and my subconscious keeps giving back. I put good stuff in. I am so happy and grateful. Now that I am happy and grateful, and now you feel happy, now you feel grateful, and good things just keep coming because you become a magnet to good things instead of fear, anxiety, guilt, shame, all the negative vibrations or negative emotions. All right, so Jay gave me the signal. Yep, she's waving goodbye. It's time for me to say goodbye. So anyway, but we're here again tomorrow. I have nothing to sell you. There's no sales pitch. Yeah, I know it's weird, right? Hey, he's not trying to sell me anything. No, not at all. Okay, so we'll see you guys tomorrow. If you want to check out the website and see what I do, okay, yeah. And if you write to me, I'll give you free, I'll explain things to you if you want to learn about it, okay? And I'll send you materials or whatever. So all you have to do is write to me, junior@hereforoulifecoaching.com. I'm not going to sell you anything, okay? Sorry. My book is online. If you want to read my book, it's called The Universal Law of Attraction and Singing. If you want to read this book, because you're on the live, I'll send it to you free. All you do is message me on all these platforms. So we're on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Trovo, Twitch. We're on 2 Facebook pages right now. So if you guys just message me, okay, I'll send you a PDF copy to your email, absolutely free. Just send me your email, okay? All right, so we're here in Honolulu, Hawaii. We bid you aloha, lots of love and aloha from Hawaii. Take care.